We're getting to that part of the year where you may need to winterize your Mercury engine, whether it be an outboard or a Mercruiser stern drive. I'm just going to use those terms interchangeably: Mercury, Mercury Marine, Mercruiser, all part of the same company. And if you are winterizing your boat, typically what you're going to need to do is replace the gear lube, because you don't want to have any water in that gear lube that could cause issues in your lower unit, in your stern drive, and or your outboard. If you're in a location where you get freezing temperatures, that water could freeze if it's trapped in the bottom of the stern drive. And what's going to happen is it's going to expand and cause issues. So we're that time of the year where you need to replace the gear lube. And if you've got a Mercury engine, you may ask the question, what type of lubricant is recommended to use for a Mercruiser stern drive or Mercury outboard, Mercury Marine outboard power, or Mercury Marine inboard or stern drive power? And that is Quicksilver High Performance Gear Lube SAE 90. Now, there's no such thing as Mercury Marine lubricant. There's not a brand that is, but Quicksilver is a product of Mercury Marine. It is the recommended oil and gear lube for Mercury Marine products. So when you get a factory engine, this is the gear lube that is in it, the Quicksilver Marine lubricants. They are just a different division of Mercury Marine. As you can see, it says product of Mercury Marine, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and there you go. So if you need to winterize your boat, or you are looking to figure out what kind of gear lube to add or use to your stern drive or Mercury Marine outboard, you want to use Quicksilver Marine Lubricants High Performance Gear Lube SAE 90. So we're going to go over all this. It says, for use in all outboard lower units, jet pumps, and sport jets, and all Mercury Mercruiser stern drives. That's what I've got. And what you're going to find is that whether you got a V4, V8, a 6, a V6, or an inline 4, this is the same lubricant that you'd use for all of those, as well as if you've got a Mercury outboard, whether it's, let's say, 75 horsepower, 100 horsepower, or if you've got one of those big 450s, this is still going to be the high performance gear lube that you use for those lower units. And this is that Quicksilver brand that is affiliated and a product of Mercury Marine. It says Quicksilver High Performance Gear Lube provides the proper corrosion protection and lubrication needs of marine gear cases not found in automotive-based oil. And now that's important, because when you use this gear lube, it comes out a blue-green color and a very oil-like consistency. If you get water in this particular lube, it will turn color and turn to like a milky gray milkshake. And that's how you can diagnose if you are getting water in your lower unit or gear case from wherever, is that you're going to see this change color. And when you drain the unit at the end of the year, or if you drain it just to see what's going on, you pop that little hole at the bottom of your lower unit and let some of this drain out. You're going to see if it is that milky color, it's opaque, you're going to know that you got water in your lower unit and you got to take care of that issue. So it says Gear Lube provides maximum protection against water intrusion. Advanced emulsifiers prevent foaming to protect gears if water enters the gear housing. Wear. Tackifiers and extreme pressure additives improve oil film adhesion and protect against excessive wear. Mercury recommends the Gear Lube be changed at least once a year prior to storage or every 100 hours of operation. See your owner's manual for specific recommendations. And look, there's actually a typo there. It says 100 hours off operation. So one word rather than two. Recommended for use in all stern drive gear cases and lower units on all outboards. Meets or exceeds the needs of all marine manufacturers' gear lube. Using this product will not void manufacturer's warranties. That's a bold statement there, but they're saying that in most cases you could use this with like a Yamaha, Honda, or Suzuki engine if you've got those in there, and or Volvo Penta engines if you've got a Volvo Penta stern drive engine, or you've got those other outboards listed. It says meets API GL4. Now, I would make sure that you look in your own owner's manual to be aware if this does work with those other manufacturers, but they do make that bold claim right there. So if you need to use Gear Lube and you need something in a pinch and you've got a Mercury Marine engine, or you don't even have a Mercury engine, you've got something else, this should meet those requirements. Now, if you've got a Mercury Marine engine, this is for Mercury, made by Mercury. As you can see right there on the bottom, it says Mercury, products of Mercury Marine, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, which is the same location as where they manufacture the engines, or where they are based out of for Mercury Marine. So just something to be aware of as we come into winterization season. I highly recommend that at the end of the year you do change your gear lube and definitely inspect it to see if you've got water. And then you've got ready fresh gear lube for when you want to start the next year, next season, and you're ready to go throw this in the water. So make sure that you use the right stuff. Now, over the years of using this, I haven't found any issues, but I definitely have found water in my stern drive. Just different things have happened. One of them, I had a seal on a Bravo drive. I think it was a Bravo 3 or Bravo 2, the twin prop Bravo drive. And there was a plastic, there's like a plastic seal or ring down in the lower propeller housing, and that just went bad over the years, and it needed a new one of those and reseated, and that's what was allowing to have water intrusion. Now, the other thing that can happen if you've got a stern drive, when you change your gear oil, you need to make sure that you put there's some little washers that they have that go around the screws that allow you to drain the Quicksliver Marine gear lube out of your Mercruiser stern drive and or outboard. And those go around the screws. There's one at the bottom and one at the top. You need to make sure that you put those back in. And a lot of times people take them out when they're doing the engine, and they've got like an oil pan there to catch all the gear lube, and they lose that little seal there. And then if you go back, that can allow you to get water intrusion into the engine. Just think of how fast these gears and everything are spinning, the differential in temperature. It can suck water into the gear case or the lower unit of the engine. So you want to make sure both on the top and bottom screw, you've got that little seal, and you can typically find those. And then make sure that you put those on when you are either draining or adding gear lube oil. And it's always interesting that gear lube, you pump it in from the bottom until it overflows from the top gear lube hole. It's just how it goes. And then you can add the gear lube to the gear lube reservoir, which is typically found on the upper right hand side of Mercury inboard or stern drive engines. So the V8, the V4, inline 4 and V6 all have the reservoir for this on the right side of the engine. Now you might wonder, at the beginning of the year, you put everything in your gear case and you change the gear lube, and then you run it for a couple hours and you realize the level goes down. Does that make you mean that you have a leak? And I'm gonna say not necessarily, because what happens is when you refill and drain all of the gear drive oil out of there, there can just be some airspace and bubbling. And when you refill the reservoir inside of the engine compartment, what happens is a little bit of that goes down and then settles and fills that airspace. So once you put this in and then you run it for 10 hours or even a couple hours, check your level again, and then add that. And then typically, if you don't have any leaks or anything like that, you shouldn't be losing gear oil over time after that first initial couple runs of the season. It's just that oil is heating up, getting more viscous, and filling the voids and everything differently. So just check that the first couple times, and then you should be good. It's always a good idea to check your gear lube, protect the expensive pieces and parts of your boat. But if you've got a Mercury Marine engine in your boat, this is the lubrication that you should be using. As well as it says, if you're in a pinch, you technically, they make the claim that you could use this for other manufacturers, stern drives, and or as gear lube. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.